of collapse, okay? And just talking through Lamentations, I hope that you've grown through this series. I know I certainly have. I've dug into Lamentations in a way that I never have before, and certainly never preached a series on Lamentations. But seeing the pain, there are lessons in the pain of life. Aren't you so grateful that I get to experience all of this with you? It's not like everything goes perfect for Andy and Cindy and everybody else. Andy and Cindy just tell us how to be perfect. Andy and Cindy get to walk through all this stuff as well, and so, on a scale of 1 to 10, how's your pain? All those kinds of things, and we would have a different answer each week, depending upon what you've experienced, what you've gone through, how much life you've walked into. And so where we're kind of landing this week with this is that God's timing is perfect. His timing is perfect. The pain and the experiences that Judah had to walk through, God was still with them. He was still with them in the pain. He was still orchestrating everything. Just because you're in pain today, whether it's physically or emotionally, doesn't mean that God has left you there. He is walking with you in the pain of life. He's walking with you. The things that keep you up at night, the things that are on your heart when you wake up in the middle of the night and you're not experiencing the peace that you long for, the things that you wish nobody knew about, and in fact, in many cases, lots of people don't know what you're walking through and what you're dealing with, what's really going on inside of you. See, God knows, and He is with you in the pain, and His timing is perfect. He has a perfect timing. There are things that He's orchestrating in your life. There are lessons in the pain of life that He wants you to grab a hold of. He wants you to experience more of His presence, more of His grace, more of His mercy, more of His healing. That's our God. That's the desire that He has for you. He is with you. And so here this morning, as we talk about collapse and how things often do collapse in our life, sometimes it's little segments of our life, sometimes it's the whole kit and caboodle that falls. And God is with you. And so we have Judah that would wait 70 years. 70 years walking through the consequences of their choices. It was painful. God didn't leave them. God was still orchestrating things. But there was an appointed time, and there is an appointed time for you and me as well. And there are lessons and growth. There are seasons that God has for your life that He wants to continue having you move forward. And He wants to remind you again this morning that He is with you. He is with you. The big idea this morning is that God's will and timing are perfect. Somebody say it with me. God's will and timing are perfect. And He's working out His plans. He's working out His plans. Deuteronomy 32:4 says this. Let's say it together. Should be behind me. Say it together. He is the rock. His deeds are perfect. We'll say it together. How's that? Everything He does is just and fair. He is a faithful God who does no wrong. How just and upright He is. This is our God. He's with you in the pain of life. Oftentimes our mess doesn't end overnight. Oh, we wish it would. We wish it would. We wish we could just, clap on, clap off. Right? We don't have those anymore. We use an app. Okay, right? But we wish we could just end our mess or change this about ourselves. Tweak this a little bit right here. snap our fingers, make it go away, whatever issue it is that you're walking through. But there's so many lessons through it. And there's lessons of dependency upon our God, saying yes to you, Lord, no matter what I'm experiencing in my life. Trusting God throughout all of the circumstances and situations that we walk through in this life. And so we're looking at Lamentations chapter 5, starting at verse 19. There's so much pain and turmoil in these chapters. Honestly, it is gut-wrenching. If you can read over it real quick, and you do this little dance ha, that's not me. Or you can dig into it and go, oh man, that right there was horrid. They lost their homes. Can you imagine someone invading the U.S. and taking over everything? Suddenly the security and all the things that you thought were okay, you're all comfy and nice in your little home, and in an instant, someone comes in, chases you out. How much fear there would be. It doesn't feel real good when we try to empathize. Thankfully, we don't have to sympathize, but to empathize with so much pain and torment. And this is where they were in Judah. And so here we have in verse 19, it says, but Lord, I love it how there's just these little turns in the scripture, going right back to God's character, going right back to who we're serving in the midst of the pain. It's there. But Lord, you remain the same forever. But Lord, you remain the same forever. Your throne continues from generation to generation. Why do you continue to forget us? Why have you abandoned us for so long? Restore us, O Lord, and bring us back to you again. Give us back the joys we once had. Or have you utterly rejected us? Are you angry with us still? Whew. What an account. Declaring the character of God. So there's speaking in faith, and then there's, oh, this reality. Speaking in faith, oh, this reality. This is true for us as well. We're speaking in faith, getting better every day. Oh, this reality. Right? So in the pain of life, here are some things that we can remember as we're looking at God's timing, how perfect it is. In the pain of life, remember this, that God is the same forever. He's the same forever. The Lord is constant. He's reliable. He's true. He is faithful to the end. He is faithful through all generations. You know, as we get a little bit older, we can see things a little bit more clearly because we have a little more experience under our belt. When I was in my early 20s and 18 and all that, obviously before my 20s, I was invisible. Wait a minute. Invincible. That's what I was. I might have been invisible too. But I was invincible. I could do anything. Remember skiing, taking whatever jump. It did not matter how big the jump was. I could do it. And it was all about the rush. And now I'm like, whew. Let's watch someone else do that one. We get a little bit more experience. We're able to see things a little more clearly. We recognize that things break. Not just stuff, but we sometimes break. You know, we recognize that a little bit more, and then as you get older, it gets a little bit slower in the healing process, right? As you're walking through things. And so Here we're looking at generations. This is our God. He is the same through every generation. The same. Faithful, true, forever. This same God who was with Judah through all this pain is with you. He's with you, and He's faithful, and He's true. It's so hard for us to think through faithfulness forever. I think as we get older, we get a little bit better at it, but it's hard for us to imagine that because we see the unfaithfulness of so many. We see how things break down, and we see promises not fulfilled, and we see people that speak, but then the actions don't follow. We see this brokenness. And so we walk around like God's that way. And I'm telling you this morning, He is not. He is faithful. He is true through all generations. Through whatever you're walking through this morning, He is faithful. And He loves you. He's with you in the pain of life. God puts all human attempts at faithfulness to shame. Did you hear it? God puts all human attempts at faithfulness to shame. He's with you. He's never left you. He's with you in your pain. It's an amazing thing to keep our eyes on. Malachi 3:6 says, I am the Lord and I do not change. Psalm 105, for the Lord is good. His unfailing love continues forever, and His faithfulness continues to each generation. So your kids, your grandkids, your great-grandkids, isn't that something to think through? Some of the kids or grandkids here today are like, oh, I don't know about all that, because you can't see it yet. But He's faithful. He's faithful. In the pain of life, remember additionally this: God's anger only lasts a moment. He's not only the same forever, but His anger only lasts for a moment. But His favor lasts a lifetime. Do you remember doing something as a kid and you're like walking on pins and needles for the next week? Are mom and dad okay? You know what I'm saying? You did something, it was big, and you're just kind of like, are they good? Are they good? You know, I mean, the punishment might have already kind of happened, whatever that was, you know, grounded, whatever, but you're still kind of walking around like, am I in their good graces again? You know what I'm talking about? I remember as a teenager, and I left at 18, you know, to join the army, right? But in my junior year, I think it was, it's getting harder to remember that stuff, I punched a hole in the bathroom door. Great maturity, right? Now, it wasn't all the way through the bathroom door. It was just the first panel from the inside, okay? But for the next 15 years or so before they changed the door, it was a constant reminder whenever I would visit of what I did. Thankfully, parents forgive. God does too. God does too. And when we come to Him with all of our mess, and we've asked for forgiveness, and we humble ourselves before Him, there's a forgiveness. Anger subsides, favor for a lifetime. This is our God. This is our God. And so you have the people of Judah saying in Lamentations 5:22, are you angry with us still? At this point in the verses, as you look at Lamentations 5, you will see now generations or parents that experienced the initial invasion have died. And so here's the grandkids going, are you still angry with us? Are you still upset about that? We're experiencing the consequences of their actions. Are you still angry? No. God was working out a plan. His timing and will were perfect, even when it didn't feel like it. He was working out his plans. He will not be angry forever. Psalm 30 verse 5 says, "For his anger lasts only a moment, but his favor lasts a lifetime. Weeping may last through the night, but joy comes with the morning." It's a great promise for us. And so when we respond in humility to our God, when we come before him, we say, "God, I am sorry for doing things my own way. I'm sorry for getting distracted. I'm sorry for taking you for granted. I'm sorry for turning away from you." God forgives, and his favor lasts a lifetime. 2 Chronicles 7:14, "If my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven and I will heal their land." This is our God. When we come to him, he forgives us. When we come humbly before him, things change. This is the character of our God, and he does not change. He is the same forever. Aren't you grateful? Amen. In the pain of life, remember this: God will restore and return the joy. He will restore and return the joy. Sometimes we ask, will this blank ever end? Hopefully that's not a person's name. Okay? But will this misery ever end? Will this job ever end? Will this pain ever end? Will this financial mountain ever end? Will this maintenance ever end? We have all mentioned things like that. There is coming a time when it will end, because God will restore. In fact, he will restore all things. There's going to be a restoration of all things. Sickness, pain, crying, boom, gone. How awesome is that going to be? Which makes me think of a care group, Driven by Eternity. Go Don and Sarah Harvey. That's going to be an awesome group to be a part of. Looking at eternity, not right here in front of you. The pain, recognizing that God has more. Shameless plug. Okay, Lamentations 5:21. "Restore us, O Lord, and bring us back to you again. Give us back the joys we once had." It was actually Brandon this week who mentioned something to me. He says, sometimes we need the pain of life to remind us of God's faithfulness and to appreciate the good times more. Did you know I was listening? There is a restoration of all things. The truth is, God will restore in his timing. He will. He will restore in his timing. The pain that you're feeling now, and some of it, if I could get in your head, and you're like, "Oh, I'm so glad you can't." The pain that some of you are experiencing right now may seem excruciating at this time, but the Lord will restore. He will restore your hope. He will restore your joy. There is a restoration coming, and there was for Judah as well. We read in Isaiah 41, it says this, "But as for you, Israel, my servant, Jacob, my chosen one, descended from Abraham, my friend," just like, let me just help you understand that I do know who I'm talking to. I mean, really, let me break it down for you, just in case you miss by me just saying Israel, right? "But as for you, Israel, my servant, Jacob, my chosen one, descended from Abraham, my friend, I have called you back from the ends of the earth, saying, you are my servant. For I have chosen you and will not throw you away. Don't be afraid, for I am with you. Don't be discouraged, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will hold you up with my victorious right hand. See, all your angry enemies lie there, confused and humiliated. Anyone who opposes you will die and come to nothing. You will look in vain for those who tried to conquer you. Those who attack you will come to nothing. For I hold you by my right hand. I, the Lord your God, and I say to you, don't be afraid. I am here to help you. That is a prophetic word, boom, this morning. Where God wants to get your attention. Go back this week and read it again. Meditate on it again. The Lord will restore. That's what he does. It's what he does best. All glory and honor and power to the name of our God. Yeah, to the name of our God. So, as the worship band comes back, are you frustrated with God's timing? Are you frustrated with his timing? Because he would tell you today that his will and his plans are perfect. They're perfect. And nothing can change his will or his plans. Nothing. And he loves you. He's with you. And he wants to bring healing. He wants to bring restoration. He wants to bring joy. Joy unspeakable and full of glory, we used to sing. He loves you. Are you frustrated? His timing is perfect. And he is asking you this morning, will you trust him? Will you trust your God? Not everything is perfect in front of you. In fact, you have this plan. You're looking out and you see this plan and you see how it should be. See, here's the deal is sometimes we get so frustrated with how things aren't working out. Like, God, this is not how I envisioned it. And God lovingly, like he does, comes alongside of us and says, I'm with you. I need you to trust me. There's lessons in the pain of life. Why did Judah need 70 years? Part of me says, God only you know. That is a very long time. But it was through 70 years where generations would learn to trust their God. It was 70 years where kids and grandkids would learn to trust their God, to learn the ways of following the Lord, of depending upon him in the pain of life. There are so many times, so many situations where a lesson is short-circuited because the pain is taken away too quick. There are people that South County has gotten out of jail before, that South County should have left there. That's a hard word. That's harsh. But there was a lesson in the pain that hadn't fully come to term. And so there are lessons with you today. You've got a plan, you see it, you think this is how it should be, and God in his loving way says, just keep your eyes on me. Just trust me. Trust me in the pain. Trust me in the pain. That you will be able to see truly who I am and how much I love you and how much I long for you, how much I long to be with you. This is our God. And some of you just need to surrender to his plan and say, God, I will trust you. God, I'll trust you. When I can't see everything, God, I'm going to trust you because I know you're working things out. There's a freedom that comes in saying, God, you are sovereign. You are sovereign. You are holy. You are true. You are righteous. You are reliable. God, you know everything. You know everything, God. And so we submit to your plans. We submit to your ways. God, you are awesome. Oh, can you just worship him this morning? Just stand and worship him this morning. Just say, God, I love you. Lord, I long for you. Oh, God. Lord, do every good and perfect thing that you have in store, Lord, for every life, every plan today. God, you are holy. Lord, and what you decide and what you do is perfect. You never fail. You're with us. And Lord, as some need to surrender to you today, some need to renew their trust in you today, God, I pray that you would give them the courage to do that today. The courage to surrender to you today. We ask this in Jesus' name. And everyone said, amen.